This goes out to all the teachers, all the administrators, all of the counselors that are working in schools right now. I'm leaving my class today, and one of the things I shared with future teachers today was 2 videos. The first video I shared with them was a video of a teacher I want to believe was in California, and he was a Caucasian male, and he decided to dress in blackface and go to his school and try to teach his kids about the future and automation or whatever the video was, and dressed as Common. So he's a Caucasian male, and he was going to his students and he was showing them that I guess he could rap or do something for that matter. And then the second video I showed them was of a teacher that had a confrontation with a student, I want to say at Iroquois High School out in I think the East Coast, where he didn't want to give up his cell phone, so she ended up getting into a full-on fist fight brawl with this student. And the reason why I shared this with my future teachers today is that I wanted them to understand what they're facing, what they are facing when they're going to enter their classroom, and when they're going to enter into the field that they choose to be in, is that you have to be culturally responsible for what is being seen or shown to your students. Like the man that was Caucasian, he knows about Common, he knows about hip-hop, he knows about rap, but he still chose to go blackface knowing that it may have been offensive to someone in the classroom. The other teacher, she knew that the student may have had some issues and that he had his cell phone out, but she decided to, instead of de-escalating the situation, she decided to escalate the situation and cause that student to get arrested and for her to be suspended from her job. Now, the reason why I harp upon that is, one, the school and prison pipeline is always present, and it's always something that's going to have to be taken care of and eliminated in order for us to have equality and equity in schools. And another thing is, I wanted them to understand that they can do it. If we have people in positions that are teachers or that are in schools that have passed it and they don't understand cultural responsibility, they don't understand cultural awareness and diversity, and we have students that are like, man, this certification test is hard, or it's hard to finish my degree because of this, that, and the other. Well, there are people that don't have that quality, so that are absolutely making it into the teacher profession very easily. They're very easily getting these positions at schools across America, but we tend to sit around and we make excuses like this is too hard, or it's going to take too long, or it's going to cost too much. I always heard is that if you're working for someone else, then you have a timeline, you have limitations. Then that's when you begin to be limiting and find out. But if you're working and doing this for yourself, there is no timeline because you must get it done. So at all costs, I had to share with my students, I had to take the principal test so many times. Taking that test was over and over again, but I understood that what I was doing was much bigger than my desire to go and hang out, my desire to go and work out, my desire to go and be a beacon of the community. What I'm doing was bigger than just me. So when you find your purpose, when you find your drive, when you find your will, that's what's going to push you to pass that test. That's what's going to push you to wake up every morning and know that it's not work. And the work that you do doesn't even feel like a job, because when you're in your purpose, when you're walking in what you're meant to do for the rest of your life, it does not feel like something that is going to be stressful. It's not stressful, and it's hard. It's hard because we've been conditioned as people to define work with the struggle. We've been conditioned to define work as something that is difficult for you to do. But that's not necessarily true. When you find your genius, when you discover your gifts, when you figure out everything that you're good at, work is not work. Work is what you do. Your purpose is way bigger than a 9-to-5 and getting a paycheck every 2 weeks or every month. Your purpose is a lot bigger than that. Listen to all the individuals that have recently passed away. You have Elijah Cummings. You have John Witherspoon. I did not know that so many people in this world found John Witherspoon funny. I found him hilarious. I watched Boondocks every single day. I've seen every single episode. I don't know how many times I've seen all the Fridays. I saw Boomerang. I've seen everything. John Witherspoon was one of my favorite comedians of all time. And his purpose was to make people laugh. He lived in his character. He lived as Pops. He wasn't Pops, in his private life, but he lived as Pops. And his purpose, his definition of life, the way he defined his life was to make people laugh whenever he came across. Anytime he had like a video or you see him in public, he was making people laugh, bringing joy to other people's lives. So find your purpose. Understand that whatever you're doing right now, if you're struggling and you feel like, man, this test is hard, or, I got this big project at work and I just want to give it up, I want to give it to someone else, or it's too hard to write a book, or it's too hard to do this, or come on now. Those excuses are not coming from anyone else but you. Those excuses are not coming from anyone else but you in your mind. You can either listen to them and follow through with them, or just say, I'm done with the excuses. Time out for all the playing around. Time out for letting other people dictate my life. Time out for all that. You are in this world. You are in this world for a reason. And if you could take a look, open up your phone, look at your call log. Look who's calling you. Look who's texting you. Look who's telling you, man, you're doing a great job. Look who's telling you that, wow, that was awesome. I hope you do this again. Can you come see us? Who would you work for? What would you see yourself in if you're just going to pay? They wouldn't even have to give you a dime to do it. What do you see yourself in where they wouldn't have to pay you a cent to do it? And that's pretty freaking close to your purpose. Once you figured it out, a lot of things are going to be a lot easier for you, and they're going to be smoother, and you're going to be helping people on a regular basis.